Hi, my name is Adalis Martinez. I'm a graphic designer. I freelance and I also work for a company, Penguin Random House. They're a book publisher and I design book covers for them. Actually, these are a few of my book covers here displayed behind me. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm also like a part-time crafter. So art school has been kind of like my whole life. And around the time when I was graduating college, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. I was 21 years old at the time and I was experiencing nonstop symptoms. So after I kept pressing and pressing, I finally found the most amazing medical team that took me seriously, and they definitely took over my entire care. So I was well cared for at Columbia Presbyterian when I was 21. I underwent a couple of surgeries. I underwent multiple rounds of chemotherapy, and thankfully I came out on top. And that was my first time being in remission. It was such an exciting time where I celebrated with family. And then shortly after, at the age of 24, I was re-diagnosed. And at that season of my life, it was very difficult to deal with the re-diagnosis and the PTSD of having to go through everything again. All at the same time, having just been engaged and having had just met with the opportunity of pursuing so many things in my life, I felt like it was such a huge pause. So I had to undergo more surgeries, more chemotherapies, and more situations. It was very difficult. I mean, chemotherapy is very straining on your body. It depletes you of your energy, of joy, of being able to enjoy food. And I kid you not, I would not wish this experience on anyone. And it has been such a trying time in my life. And just when I thought that I had overpassed that situation, and I was already in remission, and everything seemed great, shortly after, a year later, after being married for a year, I was re-diagnosed for the third time. And I know not very many people can say that, so I know how lucky I am to still be here, to still be able to share my story, to talk about colon cancer and the ways that it affects young people. And it's increasing each and every day. There's more young people affected by this disease, that it's difficult. So I'm currently still in treatment after being diagnosed this past April 2018. And the goal is honestly that this time around I'm officially done with treatment. So now I'm at Memorial Sloan Kettering. And as you may know, chemotherapy comes along with a lot of things. I mean, chemotherapy takes over every part of your life. It takes over your career. It takes over your family. And I've just been so blessed to be able to have such an amazing support system. So through this entire journey, I think I have to give huge shout out and props to so many people in my life that have been there for me. And I'll start with my husband. I mean, he's amazing. I met him before any of this happened. And when I was first going through this, he stood by my side as my boyfriend soon after being engaged. So being engaged and having go through that excitement, that experience, you're getting married, you're planning a wedding, you're focused on family, you're focused on building a future with someone, and it affects so much of your life, and he stood by my side. He's been my support system throughout this entire thing. I'm just so very grateful that I can say that I have someone who's always in my corner, who's always uplifting me. My mom is my biggest teammate. She takes off every single day that I have chemo. She's there with me going through this experience. So yeah, my mom has been amazing. She stands by my side. My brother, he would come to every single appointment and he would not play any games. He'd ask a million questions. And every time I get a medication, he'd ask what the side effects were and what were they giving me. There was nothing that went overlooked. I mean, I have an incredible family. I have an amazing group of friends, women that stood by my side. I have an amazing church family, my pastor, his wife, everyone who prays for me, people that I don't even know pray for me. And just to know that I have that sort of support system is really what keeps me going and gives me such a heart of gratefulness. So along with everything that I'm going through, aside from my physical health, there's also a lot of, emotional things that happen. So when you're going through cancer and you're going through these situations, there's so many insecurities that you already have that all of a sudden become far worse. So hair loss, your hair is everything. And for so many of us, it's our identity, it's our culture. And losing your hair is very difficult because it almost feels like, what if you're not attractive if you don't have your hair? So I think that there's a lot of women that struggle with, hair loss, feeling like women, you have tubes in your body when you have surgery, you don't feel very attractive, and then being reminded that your worth isn't in what you look like, but in who you are, I feel like it's super important when you're going through something like this. And then also your fertility. I mean, like, obviously as women, a lot of us desire to be moms someday. A lot of us desire to have a family. And that's something that, I don't have a lot of hope for. I do have hope in that situation, but I wasn't given a lot of hope by my medical team. So the idea that cancer patients can be mothers someday is a big deal. There's a lot of women that struggle with fertility after they have gone through so many rounds of treatment. And it's a really hard battle, but I do believe that, there are opportunities out there to help women with that as well. So to all of you people who are watching this video and are choosing to donate or sponsor this event, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Like, it means so much to me that people care enough to want to contribute to something that's important, that's outside of themselves. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you for sponsoring. I would also like to emphasize that I have lost a lot of friends who I have met in this journey in my colon cancer support group. A lot of women that were friends. And it would be amazing to be able to bless their families. They're no longer here, but they left behind children, husbands. So I would love to be able to use this money to bless other people as well. So thank you for sponsoring.